As I always say in crypto, there are too many coins, not enough friends. That's why you're here, baby dolls. I have a fantastic show for you today. Please look at this chart. This chart goes the way of the dodo. This is a chart of a coin called EOS. A lot of you are new here. Okay, you're from the 2021 cycle. I understand that. Also, I appreciate you. That's cool. Welcome along. EOS was an Ethereum killer. It received huge marketing and attention in 2017, and they ran a very long ICO phase, and everybody participated, and it actually pumped. See, this is the thing. Even these things, they're not going to win in the end, but they still pump. There's so much information to learn here. So this thing, what was the most important part of it? The most important part, which no one else is going to tell you, that's why you like, subscribe, belly button on, you shock the algorithm for this family-friendly show. The most important part is that it actually got the ETH killer name attached to it. That's all that mattered. Not the tech, not the brand, not the people, nothing. That's what matters. Oh, it successfully got the Ethereum killer logo, the brand. That's the only thing that matters. Not like, we're going to do blockchain and we're going to be fast and smart contracts. That's all that mattered. And then it got the price pump and then it was game over. So much to learn because this chart is what happens when your crypto community stops growing, all right? You see here, there's a tiny little wick here, all right? It's actually an enormous wick. This was the far distance that EOS could travel in 2021 crypto cycle. It could not go back to the high. If you draw a fib, if you start your fib up here and you go to the bottom, this point is exactly the 61% retracement. That famous fib level. It's exactly there. It's just fascinating how it literally hit pop. It popped there. It's wild how these fibs happen. I don't trade off fibs, friends, but I think we're going to use them for the next cycle because it's interesting how they work. There's almost some magic to these fibs. So looking at these fibs and these prices and EOS, that's right, it went down only. A lot of people get scared. They think, well, maybe I'm holding coins like this. Maybe I'm holding Rule DeFi, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Hex. What if we go like this? What if Chainlink goes like this? No. EOS was really abandoned. They did nothing. There was no promotion. There was no marketing. Just to let you know, friends, EOS had its own chain, and I think you needed an email to sign up to it to make an account. So there's a couple of the weird things that you needed to do to actually sign up. It was either that or you needed to pay money. It was weird to make a wallet. It was not what you think. And they didn't make any applications. There was nothing on there. There's literally still nothing on there. But here's the thing, they raised 140,000 Bitcoin in their ICO. It just sits there. Sat there the whole time. It never got deployed. This is by the way, you got to put these people in jail. In 2021, you would think, okay, Bitcoin's just broken its high of 20,000. They're printing infinite QE money, all these 0% interest rates. They still did not deploy their Bitcoin. They still didn't do anything. That's how abandoned and trash and how much of a scam this whole thing is. So this is something to learn from, right? So you didn't even need the treasury. Just to let you know, look at this. It pumped without the treasury. It pumped without the treasury just because it had the ETH killer name. And then they never deployed the treasury. So this is a snapshot in time just to make you aware of what's possible when the crypto community stops growing. There was nobody talking about EOS. It didn't have any influencers. The Reddit, the subreddit, oh my gosh, the subreddit, there was like 3 upvotes on their main announcements. That's how bad it was. I was going on there posting. So, so we're all going to be mindful that this is possible because everybody wants to take on Vitalik, right? And Ethereum. Such amazing value added to the crypto industry. Vitalik and Ethereum adding onto Bitcoin layer 0, Ethereum smart contract platform, everybody with the EVM technology. It's just quite amazing, okay? So here's a funny picture of Vitalik just pointing at SBF with a cute little, he's got a little imaginary water pistol in his hand. Here we go, pointing at him. So just to let you know, man, you got to love this dude, okay? This is literally, if there's anybody who's going to be a trillionaire, it has to be this guy pushing Ethereum to a trillion. A trillion market cap for Ethereum, by the way, is $9,200. So you got to think, do you think Ethereum is worth $1 trillion of value? 9,200? I think it should be. Can we sustain? There's another question. That's something we're going to have to cross when the time comes. And also, I'd like to remind you, as fun and jolly as everything seems, don't forget, I've written it here. Vitalik's actual vision is to flip Bitcoin. Ethereum to flip Bitcoin. When you think about, will we get there in 2025? ETH BTC has to cross this dotted line. Always on my ETH BTC chart, I want to see how far we are to the flipping. A lot of people always doubt it. They say, no, it's not coming, etc. It probably comes over time. It's just that it takes longer than we think to get there. That's why you get diminishing gains over time. It's harder and harder to climb the hurdle as we pass through time. But, it's come a long way. So a lot of people say, of course, does that mean we just go long Ethereum? Well, you can, but you remember, it's consensus. It's still consensus. People all believe in this, which means they're all positioned for a flipping. And if we, during 2025, let's say, or even 2024, if we go up to ETH BTC up to 0.13 up here, everyone's going to be saying flipping. Wouldn't it be painful if we went sideways like that? That's another thing to think about. I don't like playing in these games because the returns aren't that big, man. Like, your returns like an extra 80% on your Bitcoin. Like, we're trying to make like 800%. But, you take more risk. You don't have the genius of Vitalik behind you. That's why if you want the reward, you got to take on the risk. And I do think about 2024. Okay, we're approaching 2024, friends. Not long to go now. What do they have waiting for us? This is a cute picture made of SBF. You can see it's like a Disney movie. Hey, oh my gosh, Disney movie. Yay, Pixar. Burning money away. Is there going to be a movie trailer we can watch? What is that? It might be the magical squiggly line fractals of the prices going up. Here's the thing. Everyone assumes it's up only for the Bitcoin halvening. But, see, I know we wrestle this every time. We're like, oh my gosh, I got to be contrarian. But if everyone's like long, that means everything goes down all the time. But we know it doesn't. So what gives? It depends, friends. There's a long-term trend, okay? The long-term trend is us traveling up because they're devaluing USD, okay? But around this long-term trend, we can disconnect high or come lower. And usually at these extremes, all right, there's people using a lot of leverage. A lot of leverage. And at the bottom, no leverage. None. Wipeout. Obviously, the trillion-dollar question is, how far is too far? Well, markets, there is no too far. It is what it is. You can go too far up and too far down. So, so don't psych yourself out. Just because we're all long, we're all like hoping something goes up. It doesn't mean it can't happen. Just the speed it might take, that might vary. And the pattern it takes to get there varies because you and I, we're already in. We're already holding our bags. We can't influence anything. It's the new people coming in. How excited do they get? That's what's actually the catalyst for moving us further or away, further or closer to what we think is like fair value based off the fundamentals. I got to remind you though, I don't trust the riders. So just be prepared for everything. And please always know this about speculation and markets. I'm revisiting this point for you. Okay, I'm revisiting it for you. Posted in October. Please think about this. A lot of people say to me, well, this big news is always bullish. But I just got to remind you, okay, the April 2021 Coinbase's IPO. Coinbase's IPO, literally the top, all right? The literal top. I've got to remind you something. When Coinbase did the IPO, and we're going to play a bit of angel music for us as well. When Coinbase did the IPO, I remember the news up here. I was here, friends. They said, and everyone, all the analysts said, now that Coinbase's IPO is done, we have an official stock price and market cap valuation for Coinbase. And now all the rest of the world can visually see a specific dollar number on their balance sheet and how much revenue they make and what market cap valuation they are. Like, I think it was like $100 billion. And so, because they're $100 billion, now everybody can look at Uniswap's volume and the rest of crypto, and then we can reprice them up higher because we're speculating. We're like, oh, wow, if Coinbase is worth $100 billion, that means Uniswap, which is doing Coinbase's volume, should be $100 billion as well. And which also means Ethereum should be worth $1 trillion, 10x that. Do you see? All of this happened up here. I'm not making any of this up, by the way. I remember the exact talking points. The different influencers, analysts, all these. Do you see all this speculation? It was literally the top. It was the top on the day. It was the top on the day, friends. The day, man. The freaking day. Let's go back here. Literally, it was the day. Oh my gosh. Like, Like, we're not talking about like, oh, it was like a region of time or anything. No, literally on the day, on that top, that's what they were saying. Do you see how easy it is to run away with this speculation and all these things? That's why I'm doing my best. We've got to look after each other. Doing my best to keep you in the game to look at this, because who else is going to tell us this? Do you see how hard it is when we're at the top? Like, oh, well, party's over. Very, very tough. That's why it's not how retailers and new people think it works. That's why I'm asking, are there any institutions and people out there who are so desperate to buy Bitcoin after hearing about it for like 10 years and they've been waiting and watching for Gary Gensler to approve it first? So are there any institutions of people, are there any people out there, they're like, oh, I really want to buy Bitcoin and I've been waiting so long, but I'm going to sit on my hands, and only when the spot ETF is approved, okay, now I'm going to go all in. Wow, now I'm so excited. Just wondering, are there any people out there? So I'm just saying, if there aren't any, then we got some potential scams incoming. And he's fat Wojak, very funny looking. Okay, so this is all about speculation. This is another way to talk about something being priced in. Super important. Is something priced in or not? I want to know. Well, you think about, is there a pool of people who haven't bought in yet? If you can't think about them in your mind, well, that means it's priced in. Why? It means everybody's bought in already now. You've already drawn them all in. That's why this game of speculation and how prices rotate, it's not what everyone thinks. It's all about positioning. If everybody is already positioned long, well, what happens if a bit of bad news comes around? Now you know a lot of people have to rotate out, and that's how you get these big price snapbacks. But still, as we traverse everything, this is super important, friends. We're going to pump this, okay? You got the corrupt SEC. You got high interest rates. You got DeFi coins crushed the past 2.5 years. We still don't have any proper use cases for crypto. Yeah, we do. That's tongue-in-cheek. But based on the amount of coins and the use cases, there's a big mismatch. You got Bitcoin gains diminishing. We saw Vitalik dumping. El Salvador, still wrecked. I think the average buy price was like 40K Bitcoin after all these years. Stock market, longest gap between all-time highs in over 12 years. It's nasty. But of all of those, Jim Cramer is bearish. That's the only thing we need to keep us going right now. That's all we need for a bull market. Don't forget, like, subscribe, belly button, or tell mum and dad a bull market is here. A bull market is ready. Catch you in the next one.